Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to talk about an insane story here, as there has been yet another game on Steam that has had malware tied to it. This is something that we saw a while ago, but the fact that this happened again, little bit insane to me. We'll talk about it. The game has already been pulled from Steam. I highly doubt many people, or if any, were affected by it, but the fact that these games are ending up on Steam is just absolute insanity, and there has to be something done about this, because even one misfire in a situation like, and they've had multiple misfires at this point, is disastrous. Steam is the biggest PC game storefront, and I'm not talking about large censorship campaigns on games getting pulled. No, I'm talking about actual malicious malware being in games. This is a huge problem. We'll talk about that, and on top of that, I do want to give you guys an update on one of my more anticipated games of 2025, seeing a little bit of a delay. Dying Light the Beast has been pushed back. We'll talk that at the end of this video. Primarily want to focus on the story. Hacker sneaks INFOSTEALER malware into early access Steam game. This is coming from bleepingcomputer.com. I'll leave a link to them in the description box below. Great work over there. A threat actor called Encrypt Hub has compromised a game on Steam to distribute info-stealing malware to unsuspecting users downloading the title. A few days ago, the hacker, also tracked as Larva208, injected malicious binaries into the Chemia game file hosted on Steam. Chemia is a survival crafting game from developer Aetherforge Studios, which was offered as an early access game on Steam. That game has since been pulled, and it is no longer available. There is, however, a playtest that was available, and you were able to get into that. According to threat intelligence company ProDraft, the initial compromise occurred on July 22nd, when Encrypt Hub added to the game files the hijack loader malware, which establishes persistence on the victim device and downloads the Vidar InfoStealer. The researchers found that the malware retrieved the command and control address from a Telegram channel. The second piece of malware was a Fickle Stealer, added to Chemia just 3 hours later through a DLL file. The file uses PowerShell to fetch the main payload from softgets.com. Fickle Stealer is an info stealer that harvests data stored in web browsers such as account credentials, autofill information. Obviously, things that you have saved in a browser could be taken from this piece of malware. The compromised executable appears legitimate to users downloading from Steam, creating an effective social engineering component that relies on platform trust rather than traditional deception techniques. When users click on the playtest of this game, which they find in the free game, they are actually downloading malicious software. The fact that this is also a free game, that anybody could just download it, you know, there are people that download free games from time to time. I mean, I've mentioned a lot of them on this channel, and the fact that that was just chilling on Steam for days, mind you. July 22nd is when this was discovered. The initial compromise, occurred on July 22nd, and it only got pulled from Steam as of recording of this video an hour ago. So obviously Valve and Steam became aware of this story and they pulled, but Bleeping Computer put out this story yesterday, so this has been out and present for a while, and the game was still available, at least the playtest. Now, as I'm recording this video, 2 hours ago was the playtest pulled. Again, even if this is a meme game, even if this is a game that nobody knew about, nobody was aware about, and nobody checked it out, the fact that these games, and this isn't the first instance of this, we covered this story a while back, I want to say it was a couple months ago, of another game having similar malware implemented into the game and just being live on Steam. Look, I get it. Steam is this platform that lets so many games onto it, and there's a lot of things going on, and the manpower is there. You know, that they can't check absolutely everything. However, we gotta do something about this where we have to prevent, and I'm sure Gabe's aware of this. I'm sure the people at Valve are aware about this, that they can't let this go unchecked. And I'm not even saying that, you know, it's for, like, who cares, it's the lower key games, and it'll never be the bigger games. Obviously, you're not gonna have, like, EA, I mean, people are gonna be like, oh my god, the ULA and all that stuff that happened with Borderlands 2, but I'm talking about actual malicious malware that's there for the sole intent of, you know, messing with you. Let's just put it that way. That we gotta do something about this. Valve's gotta do something about this, and I get it. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games that are released on Steam every month, so it might be a little bit difficult to do it. You gotta put the crackdown on this somehow. You gotta have people going through it. Look, Steam and Valve makes millions upon millions of dollars every day, and that is probably putting it lightly. They can figure this one out. I recently saw a study on the revenue per head of people that are working at Valve and Steam, and it's outrageous. They make absurd amounts of money. They can figure out a way to do quality checks on this, or at least let a process be done if you are making adjustments, if you're adding in files and things like that. Look, a lot of this is out of my pay grade. That's why I don't work for Valve. That's why I'm a sloppy YouTuber, you know, a slop tuber, as they say. You know, I'm in my lane, but the people at Valve, they should be paid accordingly to figure out how this happened and how it won't happen in the future, and certainly it should be something that they are prioritizing heavily, that even if it's something that only happens once every 18 months, every 24 months, this should be something that never happens. It should absolutely never happen. And the fact it did is just astronomically insane to me. And on top of that, this isn't the first time I've covered a story like this. We covered one just a couple months ago, so it's happening way more frequently than I would like to, so hopefully they get on that as soon as possible. Moving on from that, I do also want to know, Dying Light the Beast. The game was scheduled for release on August the 22nd. I'm incredibly excited for it. Unfortunately, the game has been pushed to September the 19th. Now, Dying Light the Beast, if you guys don't know, this game originally started off as a piece of DLC to Dying Light 2. When Dying Light 2 initially came out back in 2022, they released an Ultimate Edition. It was priced at like $100, and you were getting a bunch of bonus content, and two things you were getting were both of the story-based DLC packs that were to come for Dying Light 2. One of those was Bloody Ties. That's available now, and it's baked into the base game, and you get it with the Reloaded Edition if you pick it up now. The other one, ultimately, they got rid of the Ultimate Edition, and they spun Dying Light the Beast into its own game. Assassin's Creed Mirage style, Halo 3 ODST style. That's what happened. Now, if you bought the Ultimate Edition back in the day, you're getting Dying Light the Beast with the inclusion of the Ultimate Edition, given that they promoted a second piece of DLC. You're getting that second piece of content. That is Dying Light the Beast. However, the game has now been pushed to September the 19th, and as noted, they put out a post on their Steam page to all the Kyle Crane fans. As we're closing in on the launch of Dying Light the Beast, everyone at the studio feels your excitement. More than 150 previews were published this week from journalists and content creators, and the response was universally positive. We're blushing about quotes like a nail-biting survival horror, absolute a blast, project with a soul, and being called a standout game of 2025. It has always been our goal to make Dying Light the Beast the best Dying Light game we've ever made. To honor this promise, we've made the decision to move the release date to September 19, 2025 to allow for extra polishing work. We understand that this may be disappointing, but for our experience has shown how important the first impression is, which is 4 additional weeks. We can address the final details that make the difference between the good and the great. They go in depth on what they're going to be tackling, and hopefully an aspect of that is making sure this PC version is as good as possible. Dying Light 2 did have some issues. Dying Light 1 is a phenomenal PC version. Dying Light 2, from my recollection, had some issues at launch, and as Techland outlines right here, first impressions are so very important, and this is a game that it's under a little bit of a microscope in the sense of, hey, is this a bit of a cash grab? Is this Dying Light 2.5 that they're now deciding to charge $60 for? I feel like the level of transparency that Techland has shown shows that they're very confident in this game, and that they're telling you how much content to expect. 20 to 30 hours for the main story, an additional 20 to 30 hours for all the optional content. It looks like it'll be a sizable experience, and what I've always liked about Dying Light is, yes, it's an open world game, but it's a dense open world. It doesn't feel like an open world full of nothingness like an Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It actually feels like an open world that's digestible, has a good amount of content, but I can go through it and I can move on, which I much prefer over something like a Valhalla, and I'm hoping for the best out of the Beast, so hopefully that 4 additional weeks gives them ample time to get the PC version as good as possible and get all of the finer issues ironed out. But that is going to do it for me. Again, insane story there with a hacker on a Steam game, Kemia, whatever. It was in early access, the playtest was available, and there was literal malware tied to it, so thankfully, seems like that's been pulled, but you want situations like that to not happen in the first place, so hopefully they figure that out. And Dying Light the Beast, its release date has moved from August 22nd until September the 19th. 4 weeks, but it's going to come out during a lot of other big games coming coming out Borderlands, you've got Legend of Heroes, you've got Silent Hill F coming out around that time. If you have a PS5, Ghost of Yote will be out in early October. Pokemon will be out in early October. Digimon will be out in early October. It's just gonna be absolute chaos. A lot of big games coming out, but that's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.